Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Radivan Nouruzzaman, and my student number is 123200007 and 2. In this session, I will try to explain about our test, which is from computer networking practicum, and our test is to do a simulation. So the first question is XYZ company wants to simulate a network in its office from the available network divided into the 4 networks. And each networks has their own host, and all networks are connected by one router, and the company IP is this 192.168.0.0. Okay, and then we need to create the VLSM model. I already created in this table below. First thing first, we need to short from ascending orientation, or we short it from the biggest total of hosts that we needed. So the biggest one is canteen. The next one is between lobby or server room. And the last one is workspace. Okay, so I already shorted from the ascending orientation, and this is what we've got. Then we need to find the subnetting mask of it. We need to find the IP of each location. First thing first, the IP that XYZ company choose is 192.168.0.0. So we put it here because it's the biggest one. And then we need to search the subnetting mask of it. What the subnet mask that we use? It needs 64 hosts. So I'll search it here. And we need to use this one because if we use this, then we need 2 more. And then, yeah, we use the 128 total addresses, which is /25 with subnet mask 128 in the last dot. Okay, so we use /25, which is 128. So here, 128 minus 1 because the 0 is also count. And the first IP and the last IP, or the IP range, is start from 1 to 126. Here, we next, it's needed 32 hosts, which means we need to use a 64 because 32, it's like before, it's not enough because we need 2 more addition to network address and broadcast address. So 664 is it, which is /26. Okay, next we put 64 here, which is result 191. And then next 32 hosts, we need to use the 64 again, the same. And then next we use the 32 hosts because 16, like before, is not enough. Next one, this in this section, it's changing because 255 it is the maximum for each dot. So it will convert to 1 in the front of this dot. Okay. Then we will get the IP here. Let's go to the Cisco packet tracer, and we need to setting up each IP here. First thing first, we need to setting up all this IP from the router. First, this canteen is connected by fast Ethernet 1/0. So the workspace is connected to fast Ethernet 2/0. The lobby is connected to fast Ethernet 3/0, and the server room is connected to fast Ethernet 0/0, which is here. Then we need to setting the IP address and the subnet mask. that from the number that we already calculated from the VLSM, we input it in each router, in each Ethernet or each interface here, all four. And then we need to setting up all the devices. So for the smartphone, we can see here the IP configuration. It's 02 with the default gateway 01 because the IP range is started here. This is the IP range. This is contains 64 hosts with the /25 here. And each of the location have already description or notes about their host, their slash or the subnet mask, also their IP range. And we need to input it for each one of it. And don't forget about the default gateway. After we put the IP address and subnet mask, which is we can randomize between the IP range. For the subnet mask, it depends on this /25/27/26. And then for the default gateway, it need to be same as the router. What we setting up in the router, I setting up here with the subnet mask here. So the default gateway must be the same here. Okay, so for the simulation, for example, we want to send from this command prompt to, for example, another PC here, which the IP address is 0.194. And then we ping it. In the first time when we try it, it will be request timeout. But then after that, we got a reply, which means it's already connected. So we can use it again. And when in the second try, we will get reply immediately. And we can do it for all of the device, which means I will try another one here. It's pinging again. It will ping from the tablet PC1 here to the IP that I write it down here. And we try it again and we got the reply immediately. This is from real time. We can also use this to send message, for example, from the smartphone to this laptop, and it's have a status successful. And we could also try a simulation, which I will delete this and try another simulation. For example, from this tablet, I want to send it to the smartphone. And yeah, we just send it. It's just fast forwarding, and we see from this, get here, get here. Let's say it again. Yeah, from this side, it will receive. So the flow is from this tablet will go here, and then we'll go here to the router, go to access point, go to smartphone, and then it will go vice versa for it to send it back the process. So if we fast forward again and again and again, the status will fail for ons because like the previous one, we need to actually do it ons. After that, it's gonna be successful with simulation. It's takes much more time. So yeah, in the real time, it's gonna be successful immediately. So it's just go from this smartphone to this access point in the canteen, go to the router, and then go to the access point, go to the selected devices, and then you will go back to the access point from lobby, go to the router, go back to access point in the canteen, and go to the device that's sending it. And that's for the first question, which is setting up like that. And for the access point, yeah, and the first access point, how we setting up is we need to see in the interface part 1, UPA, 2 PS key for the security, and this is the password that I've chosen. So for each access point, it's just we'll have the same kind of setup, just different password, and that's how we connect to the access point. From the switch, we just need the cable and it's already connected. That's all for the number 1, and let's go to the number 2, which is create an IoT topology for home needs with at least 3 devices, which is already great as well. And this is what I made. And we need to first thing first, we need to create a home gateway, and then I am setting up the IP address to be 01 here, and then we need to setting up all this IoT in the wireless with the same kind of setup with the security with password. Already set up the password in the wireless section here, but in the LAN connection we need the IP address. We setting up all the IoT with the same treatment, which is we choose the security option and write the password. And then for the smartphone, we also use the same, but the difference is we need to give it the SSID name because it's not automatically connected. For the garage and vice versa, they are automatically, if you write it down, gateway, and it's already connected. And then for the IoT, we also need to setting the IoT server to be home gateway, so it will be connected via the home gateway to the smartphone. And if it's already connected, we can open web browser from the smartphone and write down the IP that we are setting up. It's admin for username and password. And then we can see here, this is the list of the IoT that connected, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm sorry for the confusion. There is a problem because of the connection, and let's finish the video. So from the smartphone, we see this is the home, and then we see all this IoT is connected. We see the condition here. This is the condition that I made for the IoT. So the first one is IoT2 is true, then it will set up connection. So we press off because it's, yeah, when the motion detects motion, the light will be on, the window will open, and the fan will be high. But if it's doesn't sense any motion, doesn't detect any motion, then it's gonna turn off all this thing. Another thing that I set up is when I open garage door, it will automatically lock. And when it open, it will open. And then another one is when I open the door, the lamp is dim and the fan is just low. And when close it, it's just stop. And we can see the condition here. I think that's all for me. Sorry for mistakes that I created. I hope you can understand how explaining things. And that's all for me. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.